All right, YouTube, it is Raptors Nation here. Just gone for a spectacular mountain bike ride here. It's beautiful weather here in the GTA in Toronto. And I just want to chime in on what I saw in last night's game. Game 6 between our Toronto Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers. As many other Raptors fans and any other Canadian fans around Canada will tell you, not the result that we wanted. However, folks, I am not upset on last night's outcome. You know why? Let me tell you why. It was nice that our young players, the Raptors' young core of players, they got to taste what the postseason is all about. They got to taste being down 3-0. They got to taste the physicality which a team like the Sixers bring, and all the flopping. But our young guys, they got to experience the playoffs, being down 3-0, rallying back just to force a Game 6, folks. Let's keep in mind, at the beginning of this season, no mainstream sports media even had us in the playoffs, all right? Let's not forget that. Even though, any other, like that just goes in one ear and out the other. We don't really give a damn what, anything other than our Canadian sports media has to say about us. Will always count us out. We'll always be up against the odds. But our young players, they got to taste what the postseason is all about. I'm not even upset, We battled, we got into the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference, which this year, the East was pretty darn stacked. But, our young cores, they got to taste what the playoffs is about. They now got that on their resume. And, they got to taste what it's all about, the playoffs. Now, last night's game, we started off aggressive. Scotty, he got 4 quick points, back-to-back baskets going right at Embiid down the lane into the paint. 2 nice lay-ins. And really, after that, at the halftime break, we're down by, I think, 1 or 2 points, 62-60 or 62-61. And coming into that third quarter, folks, the second half, it all just blew right up for the Raptors. We got outplayed, and we got outcoached there in the second half. The Sixers made major adjustments. In that third quarter, Toronto was not able to buy a basket, and it really didn't help that OG picked up 2 quick fouls early on in the game. I think he had two fouls at the half. So that did not help the Raptors' chances one bit. And yeah, in that third quarter, that's really where the game was over. In the first 3-4 minutes of that third, the game was done. Philly already advanced to the Eastern semis to take on the number 1 seed Miami Heat, which, by the way, I think the Heat are going to win that. The Heat are going to win against the Sixers in 4 or 5 games. They're a better team. They're better coached. They got their home court. I do not know what the regular season series went between the Heat and the Sixers, but obviously I'm not a fan of either team. But, Kyle Lowry is playing for Miami, so I'm going to go with the Heat in 4 to 5 games. I think they're just a deeper team. Yeah, in that third quarter, last night's game, though, Game 6, that's really where, the first 3 or 4 minutes, the Raptors are just chucking up brick after brick. They really didn't get any foul calls, Philly, they went on a major run there in that third. Raptors, they couldn't buy a basket. And that brings me to this point. In the offseason, folks, Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster, I think they're really going to have to sharpen their pencils, folks. They got to get us some shooters. We need some shooters on this team, I don't even know, we made 3 or 6 3-pointers last night. We're just in an elimination game, Game 6 at home. That's not going to cut it. We need guys that can really take and make those 3-pointers at a consistent rate. Gary Trent Jr., Fred VanVleet, those were probably our two best three-point shooters. Gary played pretty damn awful last night. Fred VanVleet, of course, sat out Game 6 last night against the Sixers due to that nagging hip injury. But in this offseason, folks, I want to see Masai and Bobby somehow, some way, bring in some legitimate shooters. And of course, the man in the middle, the center position. Guys, we need a legitimate center on this team, I think. We need a legit 7-footer that can stretch the floor, that can be our rim protector, that can, today's big man, you got to be able to shoot the three. And the first name that comes to mind, I don't know how their contract is or nothing like that, but they just got eliminated last night against the Suns, or 2 nights ago. I think it was last night. We originally drafted him, Jonas Valanciunas, JV. That guy is a board man. He averaged, I think, a double-double this season. Anytime he'd play against the Raptors, he was just an absolute beast on the rebounds, on the boards. It'd be nice to see him in a Raptors uniform, but who knows? We got to see, I have no idea what type of contracts, how much money's owed and due to any of our players, to other players around the league. But for me, let me get into Bobby's head here. Let me get into Masai's head. In the off season, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a quality big and get a few shooters. I think we're just maybe 2 pieces away from really doing a lot of damage in the regular season, and of course, where it really matters, the postseason. What did Kawhi call the regular season? This is just practice. Once again, the Raptors, have that really great regular season, and they just fold in the playoffs. But it is what it is. We're just 1 or 2 pieces away, folks. I think, in my personal opinion, I'm not an expert here, but we're just a couple of shooters away and a legitimate big man away from really, doing some damage in the playoffs. I think Nick Nurse is going to stay here in Toronto as a head coach. There's always rumors flying around. Lakers this, Lakers that, Clippers this, Clippers that. Any big name city in the legacy sports media, Nick Nurse, he's gonna walk away for more money, join the Lakers, blah blah blah. Just like what was it, a year or 2 ago, everyone's trying to say Masai Ujiri's gonna go to the New York Knicks. Give me a break with all that shenanigans, but I don't think there's anything wrong with their coaching staff. However, last night, we were thoroughly outcoached in that second half. In that third period, like I said, the series was already over 3-4 minutes into that third period. We couldn't buy a basket, It really came down to just not making shots. And then we just fell apart defensively. So this offseason, I want to see Masai and Bobby bring in a legitimate center, maybe 1 or 2 shooters. We need some more shooting on this team, and we need a big man. Obviously our rookie of the year, he can't do everything on this team. As much as we've seen him do that for the majority of the year, doing a lot of heavy lifting, we're just a few pieces away. We need more than just that. I'm not sure what kind of draft pick we have in the upcoming draft, but if I'm Bobby and I'm Masai, we need a big man and we need a little bit more shooters, 1 or 2 more shooters on this team here. And the elephant in the room, you need a good center. You need a legitimate 7-footer with a long wingspan, with a rim protector, with a guy that can shoot, and a guy that can get rebounds. Last night, I think the Raptors were also heavily out-rebounded. I'm not 100% sure on that because I don't have the stat sheet in front of me, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with their coaching staff, I don't think. Folks, it's hard for me to say this because he is Canadian, but I really think it's time for the Raptors to really just part ways with Khem Birch. I know he's been up and down this whole season. He's been injured now, he's been injured then, but when he was healthy, a healthy Khem Birch didn't do a whole lot. He didn't do squat in my eyes, really. He did not do a whole lot for this team. He didn't really contribute a whole lot to this past season that we just had, or in the postseason. Really, he had some pretty poor numbers, but I think it's time to part ways with Kem Birch. You know, Achua is a keeper. Chris Boucher after last night's game. How about that, eh? Chris Boucher coming off the bench. He played his ass off last night. Hats off to CB, Chris Boucher. He played his butt off last night. I think we should keep him. And for Fred VanVleet, for me, Fred VanVleet, really his name, if I want him on this roster to continue playing for us, that's kind of up in the air. You know, if a legitimate and a proper trade proposal comes our way, if we can get a really, really good player that kind of matches Fred's contract, if I'm Bobby or Masai, I might pull the trigger on that. You know, Fred, he's a very small player. He's a great defender. He's a good player. He's a really good, streaky three-point shooter. When Freddie's shot's falling, it's falling. But when he's off, he is off. I mean, he's just chucking up bricks out there when the shot is not falling. But when he is hitting those shots, you know, the guy's lights out. He's amongst the best three-point shooters in the league. But if a proper trade comes up, and if that contract can match Freddie's salary, I'm a sire Bobby. I might be pulling the trigger on that. You know, I really like Scotty at that point guard position, but you know, this year didn't really work out that 6'8", 6'9" lineup 1 through 5. So, yeah, the name that I really don't mind seeing off of this roster next season is definitely Kem Birch. You know, and it brings me to another point here. We need a little bit more to the bench play. We need a little bit more of a deeper bench, folks. You know, who's our best bench player? You can argue it's Achua, it's Chris Boucher. You know, I don't have all the answers right now. You know, we just got eliminated less than 24 hours ago, as a matter of fact. But this team definitely needs a few more shooters. We need a big man. You know, let's see who's available in the off season. Do any big name players, you know, request a trade? You know, can we wiggle around with some of our guys who are under contract? We got to play by ear, you know. When the finals are finished, let's see what's out on the table. You know, we'll make a video then. Any big names come up, we'll see. But for the time being, you know, this roster, as it is constructed as of right now, you know, it's a good regular season, and it's unfortunately it's a first round exit in the playoffs. You know, that really showed being down 3-0 and coming back, forcing a game 6. You know, I'm not upset at that. Our young guys got some playoff run. They tasted what the postseason is all about. It's not easy to win in the postseason, you know. I'm glad they tasted that, you know. But honestly, what were the team's expectations this year anyways, right? I think they exceeded a lot of our expectations this year. Some were saying we're not going to even make the playoffs. We finished with the 5th seed. We're down 3-0. We forced a game 6. That's all she wrote for this year, right? All right, so come the off season, let's see what our management decides to do. You know, get us a big man, get us a few more shooters, and I think we can get pretty far, folks. Fred VanVleet, yeah, you know, I might get hammered for this in the comments section. You know, if he's not 100%, you know, I don't know. When he is 100%, yeah, he's a good player, you know, but I don't know. I know he's a really good leader, you know. He meant so much to this team back in 2019 when we got the chip, but you know, we'll see. You know, Pascal, obviously, he is still probably our best player. He's probably one of our fastest players. He's tough to guard for many other bigs in the league, but it's back to the drawing board for the Toronto Raptors this offseason, folks. Will Masai or Bobby make any big-time trades? That is what we're going to have to see. That's yet to come. We definitely need another big man if we can get a few more shooters. We'll see. All right, so if I left anything out, folks, please drop a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. I don't even give a damn if you're from Canada or not. How can this team improve in the future? to prevent going down 3-0 again in the following playoffs, which hopefully we make it again next season. But you know, the future I think for this team is very bright. We're a very, very young team. That's why I said these playoffs was good for the young blood. This postseason, they got to taste it. They know what it's like. They know how to take one on the chin. They know how to get back up, fight back, and force the Game 6 being down 3-0. Let me know what you think about Fred VanVleet. Let me know if you have any trade proposals, you know. Obviously, right now, at this point, I think it's still a little too early to see what names are available. You know, let me know who you want on the team. Let me know who you don't want on the team. Until next time, folks, I hope I didn't blab on a little too much here. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of this beautiful nature and its scenery. But yeah, I was just out here mountain biking. I had my GoPro with me, had my microphone. I thought I'd make a quick little video on what I saw last night and how I think we can prevent that from happening again in the off season. All right, folks, I think you heard enough of me today. Till next time, I will see you all later. Leave a comment down below, like, share, subscribe. Raptors Nation here, signing out.